Peace, yo. This is Brother High Tim coming with you live and direct. I'm like to thank everybody that's joining me for the hangout, even if there's nobody joining me. Of course, y'all know I'm going to drop off and put on my screen so that you can read along with me. Um, Today, the folktale we're going to be working on is called The Oak and the Reeds. I'm going to read through it first, and then hopefully some people join for the discussion. A very large oak was uprooted by the wind and thrown across a stream. It fell among some reeds, which it thus addressed: I wonder how you, who are so light and weak, are not entirely crushed by these strong winds. They replied, You fight and contend with the wind, and consequently you are destroyed, while we, on the contrary, bend before the least breath of air, and therefore remain unbroken and escape. And in this book, it says, stoop to conquer. On the one that I'm showing you on the page right now, it says, better to yield when it is folly to resist than to resist stubbornly and be destroyed. So that could be taken many different ways in how you take it. But at this point in time, what I'm going to do is I am going to talk about my interpretation, and as people join in, they can share their interpretation. Now, I don't know why my image is not popping up on the screen. I'm kind of hurt by what's going on here because it's supposed to be my image that's popping up, but I don't like that. But I'm going to stop screen sharing. All right, I had it up. There we go. All right, so here we go. For me, this this folktale is a very powerful presentation. One of the things I love about Aesop is that Aesop is able to drop wisdom without really being personal about it. Um, uh, it so Aesop existed during a time when it was very, very dangerous to to speak his mind, and he didn't speak his mind. You know what I'm saying? But he was able to get his wisdom across without offending anybody. So this wisdom that he shared changed a lot of lives. Like I try to stress to people, Aesop was this book was one of the most published books in the history of the world, and it's for good reason because this wisdom that this man was able to share, um, it crosses ages. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to be a genius to understand it. All you need to be able to do, all you got to be able to be willing to do, is just to listen. You understand what I'm saying? It's his wisdom is dope. His wisdom is dope, and he drops some deep science, uses some very simple concepts. Now, the concept that he's talking about right now is the concept of resilience, and this is something that we really need. And what I really like about these folk tales is that um, it seems that each time I share one of these folk tales is the exact one that I need. Those that was checking me out earlier today, I did a show earlier today about a young man that was murdered for wearing the wrong tennis shoes in the wrong area. He had a pair of red tennis shoes. He felt that since he wasn't gang banging, um, he didn't have nothing to worry about. Well, anyway, a young man, I thought it was two, but one young man ran up behind him when he was trying to get into the car with his mother and shot him in the back. Shot him in the back, and when he fell to the ground, shot him twice in the chest and ran and left the scene. Now, for me, the resilience comes in for me in not giving up, because I hear about stuff like that and it hurts me to my core. Um, Although I don't know that young man, um, I, I can't help but to wonder what if that was one of my children. Um, and I want to, at that point in time when I read that story, I wanted to give up. Um, I wanted to stop. Um, I wanted to stop doing what I do uh, because it almost seemed hopeless. But one of the things that I always get is the encouragement I need at the right time. And this story is one of them. And it's like sometimes it's good to be the mighty oak. I mean, sometimes it's good to stand up and to resist. Um, Sometimes that's good strategy. Sometimes it's good to be stubborn and unbendable. But you have to realize that being stubborn and unbendable only means that when something mightier, like a major storm comes, you are going to break eventually. And nature will always attempt to break you. Resilience, the resilience of the tree is limited because it's set in its ways. And with resilience, a lot of times you have to maintain being flexible. You know what I'm saying? Like the reeds, like the palm tree, like the bamboo. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to um, withstand um, the pressures of life. And sometimes you have to bend with those pressures. Sometimes the storms of life will cause you to bend, because if you don't bend and try to stand up against it, you are going to snap. I mean, and actually another major point, this makes me think about this. One of the major things that I used to like when I used to practice capoeira is that in capoeira, they always taught you to be um, adjustable in how you play and remain constantly flexible, because you never knew when you were in the holder, which is the circle which you play in, you never knew what direction your opponent was going to be coming from. Capoeira, you have to be very, very agile. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very, very flexible and able to adjust in a second. You know what I'm saying? No time for hesitation, no time for resistance. Sometimes you got to go with the flow, because if you don't go with the flow, you are going to snap like that tree. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody could be coming with a kick, and if you're not willing to bend, you know what I'm saying, you are going to feel the pain. And in situations like when I read this, I have to kind of fall back on my resilience. I have to take me a moment. I have to bend. I have to step away, um, because if I don't, I'll snap. Because I can't help but to wonder what type of person uh, would first off shoot somebody in the back that you really don't have a problem with, other than um, something simple. And 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 the issue for me is that mind state that the young man had the pistol is not limited to that young man. That mind state is everywhere and in every area that black folks are in. I'm using the word area because I'm trying to get away from the word community, because I'm living in an illusion that there's a community, because communities don't allow stuff like this to happen. You know what I'm saying? Community don't allow young people to rule it and to terrorize it. Um, so now that's my piece. It don't look like nobody's gonna join us tonight, so we're gonna have a short show. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read it one more time. Those of you that'll be listening later, you could just listen to this part and get past all of my ranting. Um, a very large oak was uprooted by the wind and thrown across the stream. It fell among some reeds, which it thus addressed: I wonder how you, who are so light and weak, are not entirely crushed by these strong winds. They replied, you fight and contend with the wind, and consequently you are destroyed, while we, on the contrary, bend before the least breath of air, therefore remain unbroken and escape and stoop to conquer. So it don't look like I got one viewer up here. Let's see if anybody has joined. Nobody's on. All right, and that's cool. So now let's do this. Let's do this. Another proverb that they used to use in Capoeira was only the mountain stands up against the wind. You know what I'm saying? And that was like one of the things that one of my teachers had said to me when it came to me facing a better opponent that might have been a little bit faster, a little bit more experienced. Sometimes you just got to get out the way and wait for your opportunity. This for me also is a story of the guerrilla soldier. You know what I'm saying? You don't run up against a military force mightier than you. You know what I'm saying? You hit and run, you agitate, you adjust, you bend, so that you won't be snapped to the core. And we know this works because it worked in the American Revolution. It worked in Vietnam. We know that this mind state, this ability to adjust, this ability to bend does work. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to say, for those of you that's out there that's having a rough time, sometimes it's good to bend. Sometimes it's good to get up and leave. Sometimes it's good not to have to, good not to stand your ground. Because I think sometimes some of us lose out because we want to stand our ground. We always want to be right. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's good just to bend. Sometimes it's good to adjust our mind states. So it's always good to be flexible. Always good to be flexible. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, this is Brother Hatim, and I'd like to thank those that took the time to join me. Of course, you know I'm going to upload this to Spreaker, and this has been Folk Tales for Grown Folks. I know I didn't go off and cuss tonight, but I'm still kind of affected by that story. I shared it on my timeline. Make sure that you follow me on Google Plus, Giami Journey on Google Plus. Follow Giami Journey on Facebook. You go to Giami Journey, or it's Giami Journey. It's at Giami Journey on Twitter, or you go Giami Radio, and you can follow me there as well. With that, Brother Hatim is out, and with that, I say peace, and our night will be as beautiful as you are.